So, we're on to the final section about UFOs, aliens, and all kinds of weird stuff.
Okay, change of subject again. Okay, carry on. Increasing number of people are interested in the UFO phenomenon. What are UFOs? Okay. UFO basically means unidentified flying object. Okay, that's all it means. But according to popular culture, they are extraterrestrial spaceships. That's what people think. But are they really that? That is the question. For a start, are they real? And what could they possibly be? And are they really aliens? Are they from another planet? What are they really? Imagination, people just make them up. Fantasy, delusion, reality, whatever. Just natural phenomena, alien spacecraft, all these things. What are they, basically? So, 90% of UFO sightings can be explained, okay, by perfectly natural means. They're aircraft or satellites, planets, meteors, cloud formations, weather balloons, certain unusual clouds. Apparently, someone spoke on this and he said that the most, interestingly enough, the most frequently reported UFO is actually the planet Venus. See a bright light in the sky. Oh, wow. However, certain UFOs cannot be explained by these explanations, okay? The reports of UFOs in ancient times. Just mentioned a couple here. Now, this 3rd millennium BC in India, there's the Vimanas, which are flying machines. This is interesting because there are various explanations of these, but a lot of the ancient Indian writings contain reports of flying machines. But whether there were supposedly things they didn't understand or whether they actually knew how to build flying machines in those days, that's questionable. That, again, is the idea of ancient technology, which is a different subject. 15th century BC, the Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose III mentions that he saw fiery rings in the sky over the desert, apparently. North American Indian legends, flying canoes. Alexander the Great, again, I mentioned him before about the dragons. He saw flying fiery shields. Again, this is a question of, they saw flying fiery shields coming and watching them and then going off again. But he was approaching India. The question is, did the inhabitants of India at that time know how to build flying machines, or were these UFOs? There was an incident in 1211 in Ireland, a church in Ireland. They saw a flying ship, like a ship with a wooden ship with a hull and masts flying. And apparently the anchor caught in the church tower and they had to help them loose it or something. And they said this was a flying ship that they saw. So there have been legends from the past, but really it's a modern phenomenon, and it's really started stepping up in the late 19th century. Late 19th century, there were mysterious airships seen over the USA, but it was round about the time that airships were in fact invented, so were these just experimental airships which were seen before they were known about. But it really started 1947. Mount Rainier, USA, Kenneth Arnold was a pilot. He was flying his aircraft, and he saw shiny flying objects which skipped like saucers, and hence the term flying saucers. He never said they were shaped like saucers. He said they were skipped like saucers. In fact, he said they weren't shaped like saucers, but that was what he said. And then there was the supposed UFO air crash in Roswell. You've possibly heard about that. 1947, there's been lots of material on that, lots of legendary stuff. Supposedly a UFO crashed near Roswell in New Mexico, and they recovered bodies and did autopsies on them and all this sort of thing. Then it was all hushed up, and conspiracy theories abound as to what it's all about. And that really started in the public eye, the idea of UFOs, of aliens. Okay. Yeah, these were supposed photographs of what these guys look like. Modern UFO phenomenon. Since the mid-20th century, the number of cases has grown hugely. 6 UFOs per hour are sighted worldwide, apparently, now in modern times. Okay, so it's something perhaps that we can't completely ignore. Okay, what do people think? In the 1940s, they thought it was some kind of secret technology which the government were hiding, or they were weather balloons, or they were clouds, or something like that, some natural explanation. Nowadays, most people think that they're alien spaceships. Okay. How many believe in extraterrestrials? In the US, 60% of people believe in aliens, besides 92% believing in God. I don't know how that figures, but whatever. Worldwide, around 20% believe in aliens. Okay. Why do people believe in aliens? Why are people open to this? Well, 2 points have been mentioned. Evolution. It's the idea, well, most people believe in evolution now, so if evolution happened here, the universe is so huge, there are so many billions of galaxies and trillions of stars, there must be a planet somewhere where it must have happened somewhere else besides here. That's the idea. And this thing here is the alien, of course, I don't know. Shouldn't watch films like Alien. Anyway, next. And science fiction is the other idea. We're so, I mean, you know, the stories, I mean, I love Star Trek. I mean, you know, so what? Complete fantasy, but I like it. Star Trek, Babylon 5, all these things. And we're so used to hearing about things like super technology, which enables us to overcome the vast distances in space, like warp drive or hyperspace jump gates. And therefore, well, they must have some sort of technology like this that allows them to get here quickly, and so, you know, they can overcome the distances. So those things really. However, if we come down to earth and say, well, evolution actually never happened anywhere, either here or anywhere else, and science fiction is fiction, then again, where do we go from here? Okay, next, please. So what do we do with this UFO phenomenon? Is it fantasy? Okay. Or are UFOs real? And if they are real, what are they? Basically, that's the question. Okay, types of close encounter. I just mentioned these things that there are people who have dedicated their lives actually to researching into UFOs. And this guy, Alan Hynek, is one of them. This is the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I don't know if it's can't remember when it came out, in the 70s probably. I think this guy actually is Alan Hynek. He actually is he had a cameo role in the film, and so he appears in this. And so he worked out this scale of the different kinds of encounters. So the first kind, the close encounter of the first kind, is that you see a UFO in the distance. Okay, the second one is that it leaves physical evidence of some sort, like a circle on the ground here, or it stops mechanical objects working. That's something that's often seen. Okay. The third kind is that you see the occupants, who actually see the aliens that come out of the saucer, which is what happened in the film, isn't it? At the end, they came out of the flying saucer. That was close encounter of the third kind. Okay, the fourth kind is if someone gets abducted by aliens. Abduction, yes. Fifth kind, regular contact and communication. Okay. Sixth kind is injury or death caused by a UFO or a UFO occupant. Okay. And the seventh kind is interbreeding to produce a hybrid, which people have claimed. Okay. According to many witnesses then, UFOs are real. They're not just delusion, or they're not just sort of psycho cases of people who... So they're real. Okay, they are real, but what are they? Okay. According to the most popular theory, they're extraterrestrial spaceships. That's what everybody tends to think. Okay. But that is not the only explanation. So let's carry on. Why is the extraterrestrial theory probably not true? Okay, let's look at this. Even if there were life on other planets in the universe, they couldn't get here because of the vast distances involved and the laws of physics. Okay? There's no life on any other planet in our solar system. Okay, I think we've established that. The only two contenders which were even remotely likely were Mars and Venus. But Venus is too hot, 460 degrees. Venus is extremely inhospitable. It's possibly the most likely candidate, but it's covered in an atmosphere, a dense atmosphere made up mainly of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid vapor, and it's really not very hospitable. And also because of the massive greenhouse effect caused by that. That's the temperature on the surface. The Russians have actually sent probes to Venus to try and send information back. They last a few minutes before they get eaten away by the sulfuric acid. And Mars is just too cold, average temperature minus 55 centigrade. And no water, very inhospitable. And just look at some speeds, some statistical data really. The maximum speed of the space shuttle is that much, 18,000 miles per hour. So to get to Mars is 81 days. Well, we could get to Mars. You can get to Mars, you know. We've sent probes to Mars, unmanned so far. The nearest star is Proxima Centauri, which is 4.24 light years away. And at that speed, it would take 160,000 years to get there. That's the nearest star, okay? Zeta Reticuli, which is where some of the aliens claim to come from, you know, these encounters, is 39 light years away, which would take 1.5 million years to get to these speeds like this. The Andromeda Galaxy would take 95 billion years to get there. It's 2.5 million light years away, and that's the nearest galaxy to our Milky Way. There are many, many galaxies which are much further away, which just shows the glory of God to me, but it's incredible, the size of the universe, but it's incredibly huge. Okay. Light travels at that speed, 186,000 miles per second. And it's just the amount of energy that would be needed. The energy of 98 atom bombs to accelerate 500 grams, which is very small weight, up to half the speed of light, and the same amount of energy to slow it down again. You just couldn't carry that much fuel. You know, it would be just impossible to do that. And if you hit a pea-sized rock at 1/10 of the speed of light, it would be like an explosion. So if you hit anything at that speed, you know, you'd never get there anyway. Okay, and space isn't actually empty. It's got little rocks and things. So at 5G acceleration, you can reach half light speed in 36 days. So you can actually get there if it's physically possible, but it would still take 78 years to reach these nearby stars, okay? And 5 million years to reach Andromeda, all the while in danger of hitting rocks and exposed to cosmic radiation, which would probably kill you pretty quickly. So, hyperdrive, warp engines, inertial dampers, force fields, artificial gravity, and cloaking devices do not really exist, even though they're fun. And so, there we are, that's it. So, because actually of these limitations, then really it's highly unlikely that anything has reached us from other planets.